Okay, guys, welcome to today's Open Tabs conversation. We took a break for Thanksgiving, but we're back for December and to finish the end of the year strong. Okay, so as always, let's just hop right into it. Happy Spotify Wrapped Day to all who celebrate. Yay. Um, so, if you don't know, Spotify Wrapped is Spotify's annual personalized audio recap, giving people all the data on their music, audiobook, podcast consumption on their platforms. And they continue to gamify it more every year, and everyone copied that. So we have to talk about it. Um, so I dove into my Spotify Wrapped first thing once I saw that it was available this morning. Um, and I felt
I'm
like
curious,
it was
Emma, how'd you find out that it was available?
okay. So I almost always, first thing I do in the morning, well, first, I don't look at any screens for the first
Okay,
30
Brad.
minutes. I know.
Ugh. And then she bakes her sourdough.
I don't go that
Get
far.
out of
I don't go
here.
that far. But I don't look at a screen for 30 minutes. I'm reading my book club book, The Four Winds. Very good. And then I immediately listen to the daily every morning. So I opened my Spotify app and it was the big banner. So that's how I found out. And I thought it was fun this year. I mean, it's hard to keep it fresh every year, especially now that a lot of people are trying to get in on the action too.
Yeah.
But two things I noted.
What was notably different this year?
It's for me, I thought it was more interactive. They had a quiz that you could take to guess your top artist. I don't think they've ever done that before.
Did you guess yours correctly?
No, my top artist was Taylor Swift. And I'm a big folklore fan. So I go back to folklore a lot, but I really didn't think she was my top artist. I was
Okay,
very
not
surprised.
to be so specific, but I'm, focus grouping you a little bit. Did it literally ask you your favorite artist? Because mine asked me my favorite song. Or did it ask you your
It
favorite
asked me my favorite song, and then which is Wild Horses by Rolling Stone, which we'll get to down there when they talk about my age.
Which was
Your
another one of the
Spotify
differences.
age.
Yeah, my Spotify age. But yeah, I was very surprised by my results. Were you, Megan, or was it
No, but I am very, this is I eat, breathe, sleep, all of this stuff and data and culture. So I'm checking on my Spotify data every month. I check in and see what are my top songs and my top artists. And then so I looked back at those going into this. And it was pretty much exactly what I expected it to be. My top artist was Sabrina Carpenter. So I wore my physical shirt today for our recording. And Taylor Swift was fifth, even though I didn't like Life of a Showgirl because she's on all my playlists and just baked into everything. And then I was obsessed with this album called Submarine by the Marias, and that was my top album. And then I was obsessed with Bluest Flame by Selena Gomez, and that was my top song. So I kind of saw everything coming. But I was pleasantly surprised by the execution. I didn't have high hopes based on last year. I, as you guys know, predicted that it was going to be AI slop, and then it kind of was. And so this year I was come on, guys, figure it out. I know that everyone's got to do AI. And at the end of the day, Spotify is one of the leaders in AI. Not generative AI or chat-based AI as we think of it, but it's Spotify Wrapped was always only possible because of AI. So I think they did a good job of toning down the AI-ification feeling of it this year. And it's still in there. It's clearly labeled, but they leaned more to the data and the personalization and the strength of how AI can mirror you back to you super well in super fun, compelling ways that I thought was fun and interesting.
Yeah, I agree. I thought the way their use of AI this year was good. I liked how they played into community with your personalized club, because in 2023 they did their sound towns. which I feel like people were like particularly obsessed with. I feel like I saw that was like all over everyone's Instagram stories. That Spotify Wrapped here.
I think that's always interesting too, what people choose to post about, like what,
Yeah.
because like they give you the card at the end where it's like all of your things, but I don't think I've seen anyone post that slide. I've seen like individual other slides being posted.
Yes, same. Yeah, so I'm curious to see like in the next couple of days, like what everyone's sharing.
I was gonna say, I just have some thoughts on this. So I'm not, I have a Spotify account. I'm not like a super active Spotify user. Um, and both my Spotify and like my YouTube, even more so, are completely affected by my kids and like their choices. So,
Yeah.
like, even if I were to do, like, there's a whole subset of people who have young kids who are just demanding that they play like the same songs over and over, or try to, find kids songs or whatever. Like, if you looked at my Instagram, feed this morning, and I was going through, like, a lot of people were sharing screenshots of their like top songs or their favorite songs.
Mhm.
And they were like, well, thanks to so and so, like their kid, this is my favorite song or whatever. And so, like, I don't know the platform even like well enough, but like I feel like they should solve for that. Like, there should be
They have a little bit. You can choose to like exclude this playlist from my listening portfolio. So I actually ran into this, like I said, as being like a data obsessed person. I ran into this issue this year when I started doing Big Brother, Big Sister, and I'm, with a 7-year-old.
So and then they're like,
favorite song is "It's Raining Tacos." And I was like, yeah, this isn't going on my Spotify Wrapped. I'm not like, so I was like, what are
I
we
love that you consciously like thought that in advance. Like, you're like, no, I'm not going to do that.
Well, it also bleeds into everything. Like, she also loves Wicked, so we listen to like Defying Gravity. So my Discover Weekly now, it's like the latest musical, and I'm like, no offense to musicals, but I'm not a musical girl, so I'm like, this is no longer useful to me. So I was like, we have to get this out of my algorithmic consideration, and I found the button, so you can like toggle and like click like exclude this from my taste profile, I think it says. And it doesn't get included into like considering what you're listening
like
to.
your data output.
Yes.
I know. Well, like, I feel like there should be a way. And again, like, this does exist, then this is I need to like look into it. But I mean, similar to like when you log into Netflix and you have like a kid's account, it should be like, okay, I'm logged on to Spotify. Let me like go on my kid's account.
Yeah.
I just think it would be like smart for them to do that. And it would make Wrapped even like, then you're like, oh, here's a Wrapped for you, for your kid.
That's what I was going to say. I think also this is like an exercise in like something we talk about when we talk about millennial parents is that you guys really care about helping your kids develop good taste. And I think that's only something that's going to increase as AI and discernment become more important. And so I think there is something to like having this be a moment of like passing down the like baton of Spotify and like helping your kid hone their taste and figuring out what that is. That could be cool. And I've seen lately too a lot of younger millennial parents, like the humble brag is like that their kid likes good music, like, oh, he loves the Beatles, or like, oh, he's really into Joni Mitchell. Like, I don't know how he found it. Like, that's kind of like how all these parents are like flexing, like that they have cool kids,
Yeah.
So I totally see this being a thing, especially as parents don't want to share their kids' faces as much, but they want to talk about them and like what they're into.
I mean, the more that I think about this, the more I'm like, this is such a great idea. It's actually isolating the data too. So it's separating it. So it's like, okay, this is more of like an adult's taste and perspective. This is for, like, if you fill it out, there's a lot of stuff that you can put in there. Like, this is for ages, 6 to 8.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, filter certain things out of that. And then, like this experience of like going through life in relation to algorithms too. And like, how do you get the algorithm to operate in your best favor is really sort of an interesting thought. And I think like a space, to your point, Megan, like where it's like music, and even like I mean, I could see it with like, Audible books, right? Where it's like, can you create like a profile where like my son would get book recommendations? Like I think that would be really cool.
Yeah.
Um so yeah,
I,
I don't know. Spotify.
Yeah.
and I
I
also
mean,
think that about navigating an algorithm is interesting, especially with dynamic pricing becoming more of a conversation. Like the other day, I was trying to buy tinsel on Amazon, and they tried to price gouge me because I did some price comparison. And then, like when I came back and was like, "Okay, I'm going to buy it on Amazon," they doubled the price, and I was like,
No.
I was literally offended. I was like, "How dare you!" Like, and like, I think they just thought I wouldn't notice, you know? And it was like literally an hour later. Like it wasn't like it was the next day or they were running a sale I had missed. And like I looked, so you know how it shows you like price history. I looked and it was literally a sharp increase. Like as it's never been that high, and it just like doubled the price because it was like, we've got you. You're gonna buy this. And I was like, so this has never costed this much, and you now want me to buy it for this price? Like that?
You think that was directly correlated to your
Yeah,
activity?
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Well, that's like a whole nother conversation.
yeah. I was gonna say, like, I'm gonna sound like such a capitalist when I say this, but, like, in the same vein, having that data on, like, kids' entertainment would be like, from a Spotify and an Audible would be so fascinating, just like with we've been tracking, like, the K-pop Demon Hunters world takeover and, like,
Yeah.
seeing what books are like, what were the top books that, like, ages 7 to 12 were listening to
Yeah.
this year, and,
I worry
like
about that though, because like, while we do care about these kids developing good taste, they don't have good taste. Like 6, 7, that doesn't mean anything. And it's like, all the rage in their world. And like, I'm actually reading a book called Forever Barbie, and it's like the unauthorized biography of Barbie. And it's like talking about this. And like, basically, Mattel does a lot of research with kids, and they're like, bigger, better, maximalist, more
Mhm.
colors, more sparkles. Like, what's gonna resonate with kids. Like, I feel like there's not a lot of like mystery there. It's just like, who is gonna make content that resonates with kids, but is also like good, And I actually
Yeah.
think that that's what's missing right now, like that, like curation when kids are getting so much from the internet directly into their veins and that's where parents are looking to step in and like be like,
Yeah.
no, this is good, this isn't good, or like, you should take this seriously versus not take it seriously. But like, I feel like we know what resonates with kids as someone who like looks at all of this stuff, And it's just like, I'm looking for more of a professional curatorial lens of like what
Yeah.
should be resonating with kids, you know?
I was just going to say, because I feel like what you were just sort of going through, this idea of like, what is good? That like
Yeah.
philosophical question. Um, I think it's interesting because like the metrics of that are obviously like louder, brighter, faster paced is going to be like from a like catch someone's attention longer, right?
Yeah.
But is that good? Is
Yeah.
that like a measurement of like good content versus not good content? Is it like what is it for? Like what is it adding to? What is the value? I mean, like I would say you should try this with your the little that you work with, Megan. Like I oftentimes go back to like old books that I loved as a kid. Like we often read Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, and like that book is actually like pretty wordy, and like it's not it's different than like the Cool Bean, for example. Like there's this series that's like the Cool Bean, like the Big Cheese, the like whatever. The way that those books are, it's like a series and they have like a specific rhythm that they
Mhm.
follow, and like there's like a character presented in an environment, and then there's like a challenge, and then they resolve it, and then they use like meditative qualities, wellness to then like go on with their life and live it in a better way. It's like this very
Yeah.
like clear story arc. And like, I mean, read the Berenstein Bears. Like those books are like deep, like way more words, way more boring. Or even like content. Like we've been watching a lot of like movies from the 90s. Like we watched A League of Their Own the other day,
Mhm.
and it was so crazy. Like both of my kids loved it. Um, that movie takes a good 20 minutes to start.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy. Like we just saw Wicked 2, and it's like from the outset, it's like, like, so I do think it's a very, like, I think as we step back and we look at like what is happening with content and attention and like what's considered like high value, what is developmental, like what is this all sort of adding to, and like what should your media diet look like, especially for kids? I think we're in like an era right now that I don't know how to sort of I don't know if we're quite ready to like be able to like prescribe like what it is and what's happening. It's just like it's changing so fast, and it's all based on data, and like, it's like the data meets like I don't know, like, again, philosophy, like what's right, what's good, what should actually be happening.
Yeah, totally.
So before we get off this like data curation conversation, obviously, like I talked about it earlier, a lot of other brands have hopped on this like year-end recap. YouTube is debuting one. Megan, thank you for flagging that. Duolingo does one. Reddit is going to be releasing one. Like Goodreads does it. Ryanair does like a mock wrapped every year. Um, and why is it that these like personalized, because I think that's the key, it's like all very personalized to each user, why these personalized end of year recaps like resonate with audiences so much and like people like look forward to them. I had like starting in the summer friends being like, okay, have to like lock in for my Spotify Wrapped and like tailor my listening habits in preparation for my Spotify Wrapped. Like,
I
why
just
is
like
that?
cannot. Like what?
Yeah. I mean, people love talking about themselves. They
Mhm.
love
Exactly
content
what I
about
was gonna say.
themselves. Like,
Yeah.
like this is such a like layup opportunity for brands that I feel like Spotify pioneered when they like started releasing this. And then like you said, this has become industry standard of like
Mhm.
users want to know if I'm giving you all of this data, you need to give it back to me in a compelling, interesting way. And we're seeing that Spotify even has this like more weekly now. They've adopted this
Yeah.
where you can like look at like your weekly listening and what that looks like. And I think Apple Music does it as well. So people love like their own worlds that they've built in their phones. And I think they want to see those worlds reflected back to them in compelling and interesting ways. Because when you think about it, like that's a big part of music is like collecting it and looking at it and the
Mhm.
visuals of it all that's been lost in streaming. If you're not actually like purchasing albums, you're not getting that like artistic sense that you were getting with like a physical CD. So I feel like they need to fill that void, and that's what these reports and these data visualizations help do is like fill that void. But then also like it gives you something to brag about, the social currency of like, look,
Mhm.
I'm in the top 0.5% of Sabrina Carpenter fans. Like, isn't that cool? And that's like something that you're proud of. So it's genius because it's like basically just giving the people their reflection and being like, go share this
Mhm.
everywhere with our branding on it and like make us look cool.
Yeah.
I have an idea of like what, and I don't know if this is happening.
Mhm.
So it's me just like throwing out. I feel like the data that I feel like I would get like a kick out of, like I'm really bad with like my phone screen time
Yeah.
personally. Like I get the screen time notice every week, and it just makes me sad how many hours I'm staring at my phone. Um, And even Instagram, it'll tell me like, "Oh, this is the amount of time you've dedicated to it today. Do you want to keep it going?" And I'm like, "Yes," or whatever. But I feel like Apple with their health app could totally do like a year in health like report
Yes.
that is like
Mhm.
based on this is how many steps you took, like this is what you did, blah 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 blah, something like that. And like I like it makes me wonder if like I'm sure Peloton does that. I think that they do, but like or a ring or like more of like the like sort of fitness tool, like fitness wear tech, fit tech tools.
Mhm.
Um, I feel like that sort of stuff really appeals to like a millennial brain,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, we often have talked about like the power of the gold star and like how they did that experiment when they needed people to separate their recyclables and trash better in like a Nordic country, and they just started giving out gold stars to people who did it well, and like everyone started doing it better because they wanted gold stars and they
Gold
wanted
stars.
them to be covered in gold stars. Like if you just reward people, just like it has to go further than just like an email saying we appreciate you, but like when you set up a system that feels gamified and it's really simple, people just want to play. It's just human nature, you know?
Mhm.
I love it.
But
It's a
yeah, I
great way
think
to end
like
that section.
that is on the gamification of it. Okay, so kind of in the same vein, another end of year wrap up, Forbes 30 under 30 list was released yesterday. And I always like enjoy the discourse that
Okay,
it
I want to
comes
hear
with it.
how you found out about this one too.
Okay, so just a preface, like if you don't know, it's been around forever, but I don't want to assume. Every year, Forbes releases their 30 under 30 list. It's a list of 30 influential people under the age of 30, and it's spanning 20 different sectors. So there are like 20 different 30 under 30 lists. There's like social media, tech, finance, entrepreneurs, a ton. So how did I find out about Forbes this year? A creator that I follow on TikTok
Who?
made the
I'm
list.
curious if it's the same.
Eli
Yes, me too.
Eli, yes.
That's how I found out it was out too. I was like, "Oh, good for you."
And she's been doing a good job. Like anytime I do like I when I saw that last night, her like announcement. And then this morning it was like her like so her disclosing that she did not pay to get on the list, because that always comes up. People always accuse those who are on the list of getting their publicists to pay for their spot or paying for the spot themselves. So anybody like in the social media world, I feel like comes out with a disclaimer that no, I did not pay for this after they make the list, um, which is fascinating. I think is fueled by jealousy, in a lot of cases. But I think Eli, she did her announcement video, and I didn't know, is that none of the people on the list know they made the list until it's published, which I thought was really interesting because then once I saw her TikTok, I got a bunch of videos of creators reacting to themselves being on the list. And it was like very like their roommate or their partner, like filming them holding their phone. Like, oh my God, I applied for this like 6 months ago and I
Yeah.
got it.
So you
Um,
apply to it. You have to apply.
so it's a mix of people applying, and then Forbes will go out to agencies for like recommendations of people they should look at and their 30 under 30 alumni network. Um, and then once they have all their applications, all the like recommendations, they have a panel of judges. Some of them are like Forbes writers and editors, 30 under 30 alumni, and like notable figures like Olivia Rodrigo was a judge this year. And they all decide together who makes the final cut.
I just wonder, like, what I'm so curious, like, what do you get out of it? Like, what's so great? Is it just like the press?
I
Do you
think
go to
so.
an okay?
I think it's the press. They do host a summit. Forbes hosts a summit for
Okay.
like the people who are on the list, and alumni are there. I think if you're in like the business world, if you're in tech or finance or an entrepreneur, I think the press is great. I think the networking is amazing. They like note that if you're like looking for investors, like this is a great way to like market yourself and your company. But if you're like a creator, if you're on social media, I think it's just for that like video of like, I'm on the 30 under 30 list and I can put this like in my bio. I think it's like the clout of it.
Then yeah, I think the cloud is like the most important thing. But I also think it's interesting to think about like the lists and the evolution of cloud. Cause like when you were saying the reaction videos, I was like, this used to be a magazine. So this used to be like something that you got in your mailbox and then like had to like open and be like, am I there? Or like someone had to call you and be like, you're in it, or I saw you.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
wasn't so instantaneous as like it's out on social media. And even that is like interesting of like if you told your friends and your family they're gonna go out and buy it and then they're gonna be like, is she in there? And then it's like, yes or no. So I just feel like that is so much more high stakes than what it currently is. But it's still
Yeah.
kind of like riding the waves of like its symbolic meaning and culture of being this like really important, like you're in this club now. Whereas like you said it was like 20 lists or of 30 people. That's 100
Yeah.
under 30 people. That's so many people. That's more people than my graduating high school class. Like that's insane. And like I think this also speaks to the moment that we're in of like at this moment, I actually think these creators are doing more for the list than the list is doing for them. Like
Yeah.
they're getting the validation hit of like, oh, look, I was validated by this like traditional institution in this magazine that means something. And I can put this in my bio and it like, my parents, this means something to them. But at the end of the day, I think that Forbes is like clout farming with all of these 600 under 30s to be like, hey, we still exist. Remember us? Here's your gold star, you know?
Yeah, I spent some time. It was like I couldn't go through all 20 categories, but because who has the time? But it was
Exactly.
interesting. Like they have an arts and culture, I think, section. And a creator who we've talked about before, Strawberry Milk Mob, who has a
Georgia.
bikini. Yes, Georgia, who has a bikini brand. She was on their arts and culture list. And I was
Why
like,
not business?
yeah, or like social media. Like, I was like, what about this is like arts? And she posted a reaction video, and her sister was like, are you an artist? Like, they were a little bit confused about why she was on that list. They were obviously like very excited, but it was like, I think it was a bit of like, she has a huge following. She has
Yeah.
like all of her sisters have huge followings. So it's like, her on top of them, and, like, we should fit her in somewhere.
Yeah.
She
Even
designs
that category,
bikinis.
arts and culture, feels like it was an afterthought. Like they were like, we need more women. Like, how can we add more women? Let's add a category or something. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't feel as like well thought out.
Mhm.
I was gonna say, like,
Um,
even in the past, like, 10 years since I was 30, I feel like in my 20s, it was like, I don't know, again, it just felt like such a, like, achievement, like you were best in category and, like, you really are, whatever. But even then, it still sort of felt like, I don't know, a little BS kind of too. Like, I don't know, like, it felt like
But
you would get it. It's like and if you know kind of thing, like, and so it's just funny to me, this, like, whole social movement, of course, it, like, comes out on social media that, like, people are like, "I didn't pay for this." Like, so, like, that implies, like, maybe some people can, and, like, it's access and whatever, and it's funny because, like, now that I think of the achievement and, like, I don't know how long it's been around, but it's been around for a while now, and it's like,
Yep.
the way you were talking about legacy institution with it too, Megan, like, it's giving, like, I don't know, like, even, like, what is it that Kelly Clarkson won? The American Idol. Like, it's like American Idol. Like, it's like, okay, and then can we, like, I don't know, someone should do, like, a Forbes 30 under 30 Wrapped. It's like, where is everybody now, you know? Like, does it, like, is it really, like, an indicator of high career achievement? Or, like, is it not? Like, I don't know, I'm
yeah,
sort of I'm sure it is, like, some of the categories are so broad, and there's so many people that, like, the chances of it not being relevant is, pretty low probably.
yeah.
Um, but it's
That's
like
why
yeah,
I think
go
that's
ahead.
why I still see it as an achievement for social media professionals because like that's part of the job of like being well connected and being able to
mhm.
advocate for yourself and why you're the best in your field and like having a
It's a
great
validator
and
too. Again, legacy organizations acknowledging, sorry, like, my phone is, I have to, like, set it up in a way where it's charging and I can still talk. For a legacy institution to, like, validate creators in a way like that, that's great for social media and creators that are still sort of like this, you know, emergent category of work. But yeah, it's also, I don't know, it's still sort of suspect. I mean, it would be a wonderful thing to be recognized for, and again, an alumni group to be a part of, especially for networking and whatnot. But I don't know. It's doesn't like if I hear someone has it, I'm not like, oh my God, like I'm like, oh, that's very cool.
To me, it conveys that they're a little bit of a schmoozer, of like, you're going to do what you have to do to get ahead. So it's like, it does mean something, but it's not always like just 100%. You're the best in
Like
your
the
field.
people who use, like my biggest pet peeve now in life is just people who do a ton of primarily AI generated posts on LinkedIn. Like,
Yeah.
I can't stand it.
Like, if you're on Forbes 30 under 30, you're really good at LinkedIn. And that means something.
Yes. Yes. I think that's like a very good Venn diagram that we should make. LinkedIn influencer to Forbes 30 under 30. And then there can be a sub-one to Dale.
In fact, it's not even a Venn diagram. It's the same circle.
You guys, I have to run. I have a call.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you guys so much. And this will be up on our Substack on Friday for you to rewatch. So thank you guys.
Thank you guys. Bye. Thank you for everyone tuning in.